PowerFlex is the largest developer and installer of commercial solar in the US. And we're also the largest operator of fleet chargers in the nation. I want to start with some obvious truths about fleet electrification. You don't need to be convinced here, but I'll remind you about some of the benefits. It reduces your carbon emissions, of course. It builds consumer goodwill, that's proven. And it delivers operational savings through lower fuel costs and improved TCO if you're able to get to scale. Electric vehicles also enable to bring on board more energy-intense technology that is more advanced. I'm thinking about cameras today, but we're talking about autonomous vehicle tomorrow and robotics, for example. So it is beneficial, but for companies like DHL, it's not only beneficial, it is essential. Your vehicles must depart every day with the right amount of energy without fail. And already when you're doing this at small scale, it is challenging. You're navigating a complex ecosystem of vehicle manufacturers, fleet managers, telematics providers, charger manufacturers, and communication systems. Now imagine you're doing this at the national scale. You're facing exponentially growing combinations of chargers, vehicles, firmware, and delivery service providers. You face additional region-specific challenges that affect the behavior of your EVs, such as diverse climate from Chicago winters to Phoenix summers. And maybe most challenging is the fact that you have to deal with 3,000 utilities in the US. They offer 18,000 different electricity tariffs. So when you get to those scale, the traditional approach of just sending somebody to fix a problem on site becomes impossible. Mapping which vehicles uses which charger becomes exponentially complex. And a software that may work perfectly for 1,000 chargers may just collapse under the weight of processing data in real time for 50,000 chargers. And that's exactly the kind of challenge we tackled at PowerFlex. We serve as the charging management system for 70,000 chargers in the US at more than 1,000 locations. We provide monitoring, alarming, and control for each site and each charger. PowerFlex offers different scopes of services for our customers. We can provide the software only, with or without operation services. We can sell the chargers with the embedded software. And we can also develop, design, and build the whole site for our customers. And to do that, we follow what we call our guiding principles. It's like the Maslow hierarchy of human needs that you may know of. You start from the most basic needs of food and shelter, and you go towards the most sophisticated needs of healthcare and leisure. And for charging, that translates into a foundation of reliability. Then you go to control, and then you go to flexibility. And after the challenges that the whole industry experienced around reliabilities a few years ago, this became an obsession for PowerFlex. And the first thing that our software does to provide reliability is offering transparency. That's a prerequisite to reliability. With transparency, we can learn what's wrong and we can go and fix it. Practically, PowerFlex provides aggregated views at the site level or at the whole portfolio level of how many chargers are in use, ready, or having issues. And this view can be provided real time, so if you need to take immediate action, you can do it. The platform can also generate standard reports so you can see your trends over time. The fleet operators who use the platform can have access to different levels of information based on their roles. Those who are most intimately responsible with charging can kind of peel the onion and analyze what is going on with a particular charger at a particular site. That can go down to the connectivity status, the OCPP messages that are processed by any particular charger. That may sound geeky, but it's actually the things that matter when you're going to scale, making sure that you can have the full view or deep dive very deeply into a potential issue. Now, our users don't need to be looking at the PowerFlex platform the whole time. We have an alarming system that can provide proactive monitoring, and they can configure what triggers an alarm. For example, they want to say if 80% of chargers are down for more than 10 minutes at this particular site. I want to receive an alert. And this ability to configure leads me to the second key principle that drives our software development, and that's control. We want the fleet operator to be in the driver's seat. And the first thing that a fleet operator wants to control is the choice of charging equipment. We understand that and have focused on interoperability. That is the ability to fully use our software platform with multiple chargers that are going to charge very different vehicles. And for that, we leverage those standards of OCPP and ISO 15118. We've been able to successfully integrate with dozens of different EVSE models, and we've done very deep integration, like testing for the real cases of last mile delivery companies for whom it's the core business. You cannot fail. If you stop buying ICE vehicles and you're only relying on EVs, those EVs have to be charged every day without fail. Another thing we do in terms of control is giving more day-to-day control to the operators through the platform. Some simple processes like a soft reset or even a hard reset of the chargers can be done remotely. So no one needs to be sent on the parking lot because that's far too costly. We've deployed software features that are specifically designed to help manage and onboard large sites all at once. For example, we've developed what we call Site Uploader, a self-serving tool that allows the fleet operator to simplify the process for onboarding new sites, and it saves meaningful time. It used to take the operators a few days of back and forth to be able to onboard a new site with all its chargers. Today, they can do this in minutes. One particular challenge at scale that I want to highlight today is to pair the vehicles and the chargers. We can offer RFID recognition. We can also offer the use of our mobile app that also works for our public chargers. But one thing we focused our technology efforts on is ISO 15118. That allows hands-free charging, so we limit the number of driver interactions. There is no app, no RFID. That means less training, fewer lost cards, and lower administrative overhead for the fleet operators. And with that, that leads to better data quality and higher cybersecurity levels. And one last thing, flexibility. The grid challenges caused by electrification of everything are only emerging. The new EV loads need to be managed, taking into account the requirements of the fleet company first, but also the constraints of the grid. And that's why we have developed what we call ALM for adaptive load management. This case study here illustrates the point well. If you look at the blue stacks, the load on a typical day was ramping up as soon as vehicles of a last mile delivery company started to come back around 4 p.m. And it was peaking at the worst possible time in California in the 5 to 8 p.m. window. So we worked with the fleet operator. We built a plan so we could shift that load with our software. And we made sure that we were not disrupting operation. All the trucks were still ready to go at 8:30 a.m., no disruption, and very meaningful, substantial savings for them, again, without any impact on reliability. Managing peak and charging when energy is most abundant is going to become a critical topic as we pass the early adoption stages for fleet electrification. We see it with our customers. And I can tell you, with the other part of the PowerFlex business, solar is here to stay. Fleets who can charge when the sun shines are going to have a competitive advantage. PowerFlex software is also what we call an energy management system. So it manages on-site solar and storage. And we can co-optimize those, solar and storage, with EV charging. And in some areas of the country, it's already a winning combination. It's already how we make the charging the most efficient for our fleet customers. So we're really at the top of that pyramid that I was alluding to earlier. It's the tip of the charging hierarchy of needs, where we can offer power flexibility and optimization. But that doesn't mean we should forget about the foundations, and I'll conclude with that. Optimization needs to be reliable as well. It needs to be trusted. And something we learn is that there again, you have to be very transparent. You have to provide a clear explanation to the users so they understand what optimization is implementing. If you're just saying, yeah, it's the black box and it's going to provide savings for you, the operators are going to freak out. We have developed what we call an explainability engine. It provides real-time explanation of what optimization our software is performing, it was essential to build trust with some of the operators who were otherwise fearing that the chargers may not be doing what it needed to do on time, and they were just taking over manually. That's not going to scale. Reliability, control, and flexibility. With those three pillars, in that order, we can electrify at scale. Thanks to a few of our customers who have started their electrification journey early and never looked back, we've been able at PowerFlex to verify our approach works and works at scale. So we're grateful for those customers, and we hope to make many more benefit from the learnings we had, so there aren't any more last mile delivery trucks that are eyes on our streets tomorrow. Thank you very much, everybody.